Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic, host of Bachelor Nation News. We have a relatively juicy story to get to. Is Bachelor Nation about to get messy? There were two blinds that were posted. We'll get into what a blind is, but they're essentially unvetted rumors that a Bachelor Nation couple, I'll read the first one, who y'all thought broke up this summer, did split, but got back together. That one, we have a relatively good idea on who it is, and it's relatively harmless to share because they're back together. Good for you. People take breaks. The next one is a little bit more scandalous. Bachelor Nation cheating scandal is coming out. Very unexpected guy with messy girl. So does that mean it's a bachelor guy with a messy girl, or is the messy girl bachelor, or are they both bachelor? We're going to get into all the theories. Now, I don't love to speculate on these types of things because it can be very harmful. But because there are so many wild speculations in so many wild directions, it does less damage because there's no clear person who it could be. Does that make sense? Is that me just justifying the video I'm about to make? Maybe, but I do want to discuss a little bit about what a blind is. Again, that is just a random submission, very Gossip Girl-like, and of course our good friend, speaking of Gossip Girl, our good friend here, Justin Takes the Batch. Long time no see, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Posted this. He shared the gossip thoughts, and he said, hey, disclaimer, this is messy. And he's like, I'm not that girl, so no comment. And then the Bachelorette said, sharing these with a big disclaimer that nothing Deuxmoi posts is verified in any way. Literally anyone can submit anything, so one or both of these may be absolutely BS. And of course, we have to remember that as we discuss this. No commenting on these people's Instagrams or asking them questions. Let's just assume every couple is trying their best and doing their best. If the cheating scandals were to come out, we will talk about them when there's a time where we know what actually went down. Chances are that's not going to happen. Usually people move on from these things. Although I will say, with Serene Burke Russell and Brandon Jones, he was accused of cheating on her and dancing and this and that. It took months before she shared her side, and then he denied it, and maybe that's where it'll lie. But what I will say is when a couple does break up from a cheating scandal, usually over time, one bitter person, usually the person cheated on, will come out and finally, quote-unquote, share their truth. So we'll get into that. Who is Deuxmoi? The identity behind the anonymous gossip account has been revealed. Let's go all the way down to the meat and potatoes. Social media is reacting to Deuxmoi's identity being revealed by internet culture reporter Brian Feldman. Maggie Kempner, granddaughter of a famed socialite, appears to have founded it with Melissa Lovallo, who allegedly still runs it. And that was corroborated by Hailey Bieber, the identity of Deuxmoi, who she corroborated with an Instagram like. Does that mean that's exactly who it is? I'm not sure. But I think, and you guys know this, I've been a big advocate of not being anonymous online, because when you're anonymous, it takes away whatever backlash might come from trouble you caused. You can't be anonymous when you light a forest on fire, but for some reason on the internet, you can. I don't think that's a good idea. But I don't have any legislation set out for people to have to show their driver's license to get verified. Although I think that's would be a much more polite society. Like, take my community, Dave Neal's community on Facebook. It's free, right? But everyone's really kind on it, and Facebook's not usually kind, but everyone's kind because everyone has an account that is vetted, and I know who they are, versus YouTube. Anyone can post, and it's really hard to keep track of duplicate accounts and things like that. For Facebook, you can get a duplicate account, but chances are you might not get approved in the group if you've created your account 3 days ago. So we're going to go over the first case, which is the cheating one. So if we go back here, Bachelor Nation cheating scandal, very unexpected guy with messy girl. So who could an unexpected guy be? And this was from a comment on Reddit. The most unexpected Bachelor Nation guys to me: Sean Lowe, Brian Abasolo, Nick, Tanner, Jordan, Ari, Thomas, Kevin. It doesn't mean it's one of them. By all means, it doesn't mean it's one of them. And someone said, I hate the thought that it could be one of these guys. I just feel like they're so gaga for their women. Nick would not surprise me as a cheater, but I do think he's head over heels for his pregnant fiance. I wouldn't see Nick as a cheater. I think he's sloppy with some of the ways he podcasts, but I don't think he would be that way in real life. But then again, everyone's got their own demons they're working on. Types of DM blinds, Deuxmoi blinds. Stuff so vague that it could be applied to anyone and therefore can't be proven false, 40% of blinds. Fan fiction, 15%. News obviously submitted by a celeb's PR, 20%. Rumors that are already public, 15%. Stuff that ends up being true, 10%. That's right, we have confirmation bias. Usually when stuff is proven to be true, we will then have seen it on Deuxmoi, but there's so much from Deuxmoi that never gets gets proven true, and then we just move on with our lives. I'm reading this as the unexpected guy cheated with a messy girl, not that they're partnered with a messy girl. Right. So the idea being is that a man from the Bachelor Nation is probably the cheater, and the messy girl might be somebody that's already known as messy. Someone said, my guess is it's not actually true. And someone who ran with that photo of Dylan and Caitlyn and said Dylan was cheating on Hannah with Caitlyn. Yeah, that was a silly photo. Let's see if we can get to that photo here, if I can find it. I might have lost it already. No, it's gone. So it was here it is right here. So this was a photo that Caitlyn Bristow shared. And it was her, probably whispering or yelling something at Dylan. Who knows? They're in probably a loud nightclub. And someone commented, do you think Caitlyn and Dylan look very cozy on this picture? Which is obviously someone who's trying to reach into something. Caitlyn just broke up with Jason. Dylan just got married to Hannah. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous if you ask me. Caitlyn posted, if I posted what really happened over this weekend, I'd be in trouble. Now, again, you have to remember, this was like photo 3 in a carousel of photos. So it doesn't mean that what she posted as her Instagram post was actually what the photo was. Very deceiving post. So when you look at it, you go, oh, maybe there is something happening. We can't see her face. And it's like, good grief. That's not what's happening here at all. This isn't them on the dance floor and her necking him or whatever, like we've seen in other posts, right? Someone said, it's not Greg and Victoria. They literally just posted their 1-year anniversary on Instagram. And if you listen to Reality Steve podcast, you'll learn that this account just makes any given tip to them and runs with it before verifying anything. Don't believe everything y'all read, shaking my head. And someone said, I mean, that doesn't mean much. I posted a 1-year anniversary for the dude who was actively cheating on me too. I was just sad and wanted him to stay, right? Brian and Rachel have been married for years, and she just posted him, and I still wouldn't be surprised if it was them. Victoria has a bad history of going after married men, so it's not a stretch. Again, there's nothing verified there that'll show that it is Victoria or Greg. I'm actually going to give Victoria and Greg that benefit of the doubt. Someone also said that the couple people that broke up over the summer did break up and get back together. Again, so this is going to be for the next blind here, so we'll cover it. Yeah, but someone said, I thought that was Matt and Rachel. I forgot about them. When they said summer, I assumed it was Griptoria, which is Greg Grippo and Victoria, because I remember that being that people were speculating about them when they didn't spend 4th of July together. So I associate their break with summer, whereas Matt and Rachel were back together by then. But it could have been either, I guess, and we'll get into more of that in a second. I saw a rumor that I don't necessarily believe about Nick cheating on Natalie, so maybe they are talking about that. And again, this is not it. She's pregnant. They're in a happy relationship. I have not heard this rumor of him cheating on her. And someone said, I am no Nick fan, but he was cheated on in his early 20s. This seems to have marked him. He also always advocates for breaking it up before cheating. He may be an ass, but I doubt a cheater. And I agree the same. I don't see that being it. And again, the reason I'm sharing this, it's not like I'm sharing one and giving people the chance to just speculate on that. I'm showing all of the wild theories just to say it could be nobody. Better not be Blake Horstman cheating on Giannina. And someone said, I don't think so. He knows that he scored up with her. Yeah, who knows? I mean, they look pretty happy together and all that. Victoria and Greg Grippo just celebrated their 1-year anniversary. Happy anniversary to Greg Grippo and Victoria Fuller. That is a big mark to pass a whole year together. 1 year with the love of my life. 1 year with my best friend. I love you to heaven and back. Grateful for you. Now, I have to say, Victoria did receive some criticism for what appears to be some photoshopping that happened down here on the leg. I don't think it's a big deal to touch up your photos. Do whatever you want. I personally don't touch my photos up because I know the truth, and I'd be like, well, that's still my belly. I don't care if it looks like I have a 6-pack abs. I know what I look at in the shower. But either way, what people do with their Instagram photos, I understand the greater systemic issue that exists, and I don't blame somebody if they wanted to touch up a leg or two. You know what I mean? That's them. And by the way, I mean, Greg Grippo, gosh, he looks like a photoshopped Greek god here. Holy cow. The hair's wet. It's pulled back. The 5 o'clock shadow. Somebody pull me away. All right. So anyway, let's go to the next one. The Bachelor Nation couple who y'all thought broke up this summer did split but got back together. So that's what the blind is. And that most likely could be a couple we have already talked about. Someone posted this. Again, no vetting of this. And again, this blind is less damaging because it's like, all right, they broke up. They could have broken up for good reason. They could have needed a wellness split. Whatever they consensually decided to do, they broke up. They got back together. No big deal. So it really doesn't matter who they're speaking of. Can confirm Matt and Rachel did break up over the summer. Matt was staying with his friend for a while in D.C. My best friend lives in that apartment complex and was hanging out with his friend and him much of the summer. So that's interesting. That could also be be complete fan fiction. I did have this story 2 months ago. Matt and Rachel address breakup rumors. Matt James and Rachel Kirkconnell address split speculation rumors his mom is on Golden Bachelor. Someone said, Matt and Rachel, when would they have broken up? I feel like he posts every day and she's always on his feed. Well, someone commented, there was a window where they weren't posting together at all, and she attended her best friend's wedding solo, and she went on a family trip without him. So yeah, it could have been them who broke up. I have to say, my favorite couple in Bachelor Nation is Matt James and Rachel Kirkconnell. It is because of all that they've gone through. It is because of their sharing their humor on Instagram, their hungry bellies. They post amazing photos together. And this is just them 2 weeks ago. So clearly they are together. I think it's a good reminder that they have broken up before. We do know that they broke up after their season of The Bachelor, and then they did get back together. Their story of getting back together was amazing. If they did break up again, maybe they would talk about it. Maybe they wouldn't. I'm not sure. But either way, I don't know what it is, but I can understand parasocial relationships because I absolutely love following them. And a part of me would be bummed out if they did not work out. Here's what we made. We made this story 2 months ago or 3 months ago, and this was them responding to breakup rumors. So this could have been after they got back together.
While the former Bachelor has admitted to having issues with the franchise in the past, he and Rachel are currently one of the 5 duos still going strong from the OG show. Matt really is just my best friend, she told us, of approaching 3 years together. I think at the end of the day, it's just really fun to live the life that we live together. I don't think anything that we do would be nearly as fun if it weren't with him. I love our dynamic. I think that we make each other better people. We bring out the best versions of ourselves. I think we have a lot to teach each other, and Matt agreed. I'm dating my best friend. Yeah, when your lady says, I'm dating your best friend, you then also have to say, I'm dating my best friend. Like if Tasha was like, I'm married to my best friend. And then if I was like, well, my best friend's Darren and Ben and Channing. Those are my best friends. It wouldn't work out too well.
All right, so I've never spoke more truth in my life. Okay, folks, well, those are your blinds. I'd love to know what you think. Just remember, stay off their Instagram pages. Stay off speculating to them. If you want to wonder who it could be, fine. If the truth doesn't come out, we'll probably never know what happened. But if it's as messy as some think it is, my guess is that will spill out into the Bachelor Nation streets, and you know where to come to have that conversation. All right, we'll be back on the podcast today discussing more of Matthew Perry, which we have some good news about his death, if there is any, that there was no drug found in his system. We'll have that story. We will also have Rudy from The Voice. We'll play her second song, and we'll do some Dancing with the Stars talk. So lots more coming your way on today's afternoon episode of Bachelor Rush Hour.